Are you ready?
Hey, this is DJ Richie Skye, and we are here with another great episode. And I'm sitting here with two of DC's legendary individuals. One is Miss Shi-Queeta Lee.
Hello, Richie. How are you?
Hello, Richie. How are you? You're so formal today. I love it. And then we have Mr. Daryl Wilson.
Good evening. How are you, Richie?
Good evening. How are you? I love it. Okay, so listen. Today's topic is a little bit about the two of you, but it's also a little bit about Memorial Day weekend festivities, because we know that we have a lot of those going on. So first off, I want to talk about you, Shi-Queeta. You have been performing. You have a 2015 calendar out. You have released two singles. Hopefully your next one will be produced by me. And then you also have the third season of your reality show, Drag City DC. What else do you have going on right now?
Well, I just signed the contract. I have a 6-city mini tour. I'm taking my drag salute to Diva that I do at the Howard Theater.
What?
And so we're going on tour, and our first date is tomorrow. To be exact, we'll be in Colonial
Nice.
Beach, Maryland,
Nice.
at the Riverboat Casino.
Nice, nice. How long have you been performing?
I've been performing for 18 years.
How'd you get started?
I started with the gay softball league here in Washington, D.C.
Uh-huh.
I used to play softball with the league, and every year at the end of the season, they have a pageant called the Miss Magic pageant, and one person from the team has to dress in drag to perform at the end of the season. And so, by me being the first one on the last one new to the team, it was my turn to go up and perform. And I said if I was going to do it, I was not going to do camp drag, because that's what the pageant is all about. As you know, you still have your beard, hair on your chest, and all that good stuff. Just put on a wig and lipstick and go out and run 3 categories and all that. And I said if I was going to do it, I was going to do it the right way.
Go all the
out.
way.
So to my late mother, China Pendarvis, I called her and asked her to put me in drag and do my makeup and my clothes and everything. And I was a singer before I started doing drag, so I sang live for my talent. And I won $500, and I said if I can win $500 in 5 minutes, just putting on a dress and lipstick and wig, I said, hell, I'm going to do this. And so that's how it all got started.
Did you say $500 in 5 minutes?
$500 in 5 minutes.
Okay. Some people are in the wrong profession. So listen, what was the song that you performed? Do you remember?
Your Love Is My Love by Whitney Houston.
Come on now.
And I had 3 background singers.
Yes.
And it was at not Mr. P's, it was the Omega that used to be in DuPont Circle, but it's closed down now.
Nice, nice.
The old frat house. It was the old frat house back then.
And how long have you been in DC?
All my life. This is home.
This is home for you.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is home.
But so you've been promoting parties for how long now?
Wow. Since 2001.
How'd you get started?
Me and my very first partner, we were in that Trax era. So
What is Trax?
Trax is one of DC's most legendary nightclubs. So
Okay.
People from all over the world would come to DC Pride for just to attend Trax.
Okay.
So during that weekend, when Trax was known for Sunday night parties every Sunday for the black gay community, so we would go there. But on our downtime, when we didn't have anything to do, like on Saturday afternoons where we wanted to stay in,
Yeah.
me and my partner at the time, we would just have all of our friends to come over.
Right.
And during that time, of course, we didn't have any, there was no CDs at that time. So we would have, it was our first apartment together.
Wait, you said there were no
There
CDs?
were no CDs back then.
Wow.
There were like no
When?
CDs. We were actually playing. we were
What was out?
playing. We were playing house music on a cassette tape that we would buy
Okay,
from the
so
club.
this was back
Yeah,
when.
this was like back. So we would
Okay.
play old club tapes in our apartment for people just to dance to club tapes.
So you were doing like old school house parties.
Yeah, we were doing old. That's what it started in my apartment.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I got started. I took it out of my apartment. We would have like a New Year's Eve party every year, and it kind of started from there. You know,
Okay.
just having like about 20 couples in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Right.
And then we kind of went from there. Then when we split, I was still known for doing that annual party.
Yeah.
So that apartment that I had was a 1-bedroom. I moved into a 1-bedroom in a den, and we just kind of, I had like maybe about 50 to 75 people in a 1-bedroom in the apartment. listening to house music on a cassette plate out of a boombox during that time.
Uh-uh.
And it just went from there. So I took my
Wait a
very
minute.
first party
Hold on.
out
Did
of
you say you had a boombox?
Had a boombox playing music. And it just kind of went from there. We just kind of, it just left my apartment. I took it to the first club, had a party at the Delta, and it just went from there.
Okay,
And
nice.
just years later, I'm still, still doing stuff.
And what was your first? Did you do a first club performance, or did you how did you continue past the point where you did it the first time?
Back then at the Bachelor's Mill,
Uh-huh.
which was ran by BB Gatch and Mike, they used to have shows there at the mill.
Okay.
And so they would have shows on Sunday nights, and we amateur night on Wednesday nights. And the late great Sparkle Harris, who was a legendary drag queen here in D.C., used to host a show at the mill. And I used to do the amateur talent nights and stuff there, and won a couple of times, and then got my name out there and known around. And so that was my home place where I started out. And then after that, Xavier Nass's Bloomingdale, which is another legendary queen here in D.C. I used to work and perform with her, and she showed me the different ropes of how to, go get club bookings, how to perform at clubs and stuff like that. And I left under her wings and branched out on my own after I found out what to do. And so I started my own thing.
So, and you're actually probably one of the most, if not the most, well-known performers in the city. You also used to do drag bingo at Nelly's. Is that correct? Because I used to hear about you from a friend of mine who's who's going to be another guest on the show later. But how did you get involved with that? Because you're still kind of involved with
Nelly's Sports Bar. I used to host drag bingo on Tuesday nights at Nelly's Sports Bar.
Yeah.
And when I first started out doing bingo at Club Chaos with Xavier Nass's Bloomingdale and Gigi Paris Couture on Tuesday nights. And then after Chaos closed, which was another legendary gay club here in D.C. for the Latino community, closed down. And then I branched over, and that's when Town Dance Boutique opened up, which is one of the largest gay clubs here in D.C. that used to be over in the area where the baseball diamond is that, it closed down. So now they moved to Northwest. And the owner there introduced me to the owner of Nelly's. And so that's how I got to Nelly's. And now I host I don't do bingo there anymore. Now I host drag brunch every Saturday and Sunday.
Nice. So you just kind of moved on up over the course of time.
Right.
So I heard both of y'all talk about all these places that I feel like I never knew because, I only moved here in 2008. But what do you think is the biggest difference? And we'll start with you, Daryl. What is the biggest difference between I don't want to say the club scene, but the social scene here in DC now versus, maybe back in the day where you were hosting house parties? What's the difference?
The difference now, it was more fun back then. I mean, everyone.
Why do you say that?
Because everyone really came out to party. There was really no social media kind of sort of during that time.
Okay.
So if you really wanted to meet a guy, if you really wanted to meet a girl, whatever, you really had to be out there. I mean, you really had to be amongst your peers. Today things have changed because you have so much social media. You have all these different apps on your phone, and you don't really got to leave your house. So it kind of has taken away the way that we communicate with one another, and how we meet people, and how we really get to know someone. I mean, you can be online meeting someone or meet someone on a chat line or whatever, but you really don't get an opportunity to really kind of engage with that person. You're just kind of talking to someone online, not really getting an opportunity to really know that person. So back then it gave you an opportunity to really go out and really see a person and kind of really get a chance to study that person, what kind of person they were like, how they act in public, were they wild, were they crazy, were they cool, were they sophisticated, were they proper. So today things are different. You don't have to leave your house anymore. You can sit at home and play your own music and just sit on your computer all day and talk to somebody online. So to me today, I just think that we've lost that part of just overall communication amongst our peers.
What about you? What do you think about that?
Well, the same thing related to what Daryl's saying is because nowadays, back then, you came out, you partied, you called people, say you're going to the club.
Right.
Back in the day, the club tracks, which everybody went to, on Wednesday night was mainly for college night. And that was the first time I ever went to tracks. That was my first gay club ever attending.
I feel like ain't nothing going on Wednesday night but Empire nowadays. I mean, what else is really going on in the city? Is there anything going on?
Not that I know.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, back then, it was on Wednesday night was college night, and I went to the club, and I was like, is this many gay people, in the world? I'd never seen this many gay people before.
Yeah.
And my friend was like, well, everybody's not gay. It's like straight and gay. And I was like, okay, but everybody came out to party. And then Sunday nights, it was like, you couldn't wait till Sunday to get here because you left your house at 3 o'clock to go stand in line to get in tracks. Because they had a barbecue, they had volleyball, it was in and outdoors. You had DJ Cedric playing the music, and you had Mike on the other, like it had two sides of
Did you
different.
say volleyball?
Volleyball. They had a volleyball court.
Okay, I'm processing.
Yeah.
I am processing this.
Yeah. It was an outdoor patio deck, and then had a volleyball court, and it was very popular, and everybody was like pressed to get to tracks on a Sunday night. And then back then you didn't have all these cliques, like, oh, you have to be with this clique to come into the club, or you go to the club, everybody's standing around. The music was so hot and popular, you just dance with everybody in the club. It wasn't a thing nowadays. You go to the club, everybody stand up against the wall trying to see who's going to be with who's coming in the door with who and all like that. So that's how it has changed a lot.
So do you guys miss that?
Of
like,
course.
Yes.
That whole,
Yeah.
like, because this sounds like such a free-spirited time. I feel like I needed to be a part of it in some way, shape, or form.
It was like the 70s.
Really?
Love.
Nice, nice. So with you, let's switch gears just a little bit. Drag DC, how did that come about?
I auditioned for RuPaul's Drag Race 3 times, and I never got on the show. And I'm also an actor and actress, so now, if you want to say so. And I never could get on the show by auditioning. No one is going on 7 seasons now, and no one from DC ever been on the show. But the club I work at, Town Dance Boutique, brings all the girls from the show from every season. But I was like, okay, well, if I can't get on that show, I'll do my own. And then one of your guests that you got coming on, Anthony Anderson, had his show Anacostia, and I saw it on DC TV. And at that time, we are friends, and so I knew him, and I talked to him about, how he got his show on here. And then so I started taking classes here at DC TV and found out I could do my own show. So that's what I did. I took classes here and also Arlington Independent Media, and I learned how to do everything. So I filmed, directed, and edited my own reality show. I started off with 2 other producers of doing the show taping, and I lost a lot of money within that because I didn't get to keep the footage and everything.
Right.
And people wanted to make it their own. So I said, well, I learned how to do everything myself, so I did it myself. It's not your typical reality show, but it's mine.
Right.
And I was satisfied of the product that I produced and everything. And our show is basically on what we do to give back to the community.
Right.
We are drag performers, and our community make our career what it is, and we feel the need to give back. So that's what I wanted my show to focus on.
Right.
It's more like a documentary type of show. It's where we go out into the community and help raise money for different organizations like HIV and AIDS, sickle cell, epilepsy, leukemia, and cancer. And this past October, we helped raise over $100,000 for HIV and AIDS. We performed at the AIDS Walk. We raised $4,000 with people living with cancer and remission of cancer in the Fredericksburg, Maryland area. Then we raised over $3,000 for a family out of Houston, Texas for the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
I think what I love about the two of you is that you have never waited for somebody to do something for you. I really, really admire that about both of you. And I think that that's something that a lot of people need to see and they need to know. Daryl, you've had people like Cynthia Bailey come into your events. You've had recently Jesse Smollett from Empire. How do you work those types of things out with these with these celebrities and these reality show stars that'll come into town? Like, how do you work that out?
It's relationship. All of this, the industry, it's all relationship. I've been afforded the opportunity to work with some of the greatest entertainers out there and built some great relationships. So from building great relationships, it can just take you to different levels. I.e. the Cynthia thing. She was coming to town. I got a phone call. I didn't reach out. They contacted me. We know you were having a party. We heard about your Sunday party, the success of it. We really want to know, can Cynthia come through? How can we make it happen? So a lot of things happen like that. I get a lot of phone calls all the time. And even like during the week when I'm really not doing a party, when I'm at work, I get calls about someone's in town that night or what's going on. Can I direct them somewhere to go? Or if I'm hosting something, they'll contact me and say, hey, we may have heard that you were hosting something. And that's how the Jesse Smollett thing came into play. I knew they were in town.
Because I'm mad I missed that.
Yeah, a lot of people are mad because it wasn't one of the things where it wasn't promoted, It
wasn't.
just happened.
It wasn't.
Out of the whim, just like that.
So did you know going into that it was gonna like occur, or was it just kind of like he's gonna come through?
My Sunday party started at 4 p.m.
Right.
I got called like about maybe 6:30, 7ish, somewhere in there. that he wanted to come to the club. They heard about it. They want to bring him to the club. I'm like, okay, well, let me know. I don't have a problem. Let's figure out we can do what he needs. What does he want? Blah blah blah. And it just kind of went from there. So they just said, well, we'll call you back in like 15, 20 minutes. And I was engaging with the party, and then colleague walked up to me and said, hey, he's on his way. So waited for him outside, had security to escort him in, and gave him VIP area, and just treated him like he was just one of the local entertainers in town. We just treated him like, we gave him that DC warm welcome, basically.
Do you ever seek out specific people to come into town?
I seek out specific artists during Memorial Day weekend, which we're approaching that
Right.
now. So that's kind of like one of the things, you really don't know who's going to be hot leading up to that time. So you're kind of sitting around watching all the artists throughout the winter to see
Right.
who's going to be really the hot thing for that moment and during that time as we approach the Memorial Day weekend. So I kind of spend a lot of time in the winter time just looking to see who's really putting stuff out there.
Kind of checking out the scene, seeing
That's
what's
important.
going on.
That's important.
So, and back to you, Howard Theater, you've done that at least how many times now?
We done did 19 shows.
19.
And I made history. They honored me last year of being the first drag queen to host a show there since the 1960s. So I brought drag back to the Howard Theater, and this is my 19th show and my third year of being there, going into Pride.
What is that experience like for you?
The
Like,
experience,
how do you feel about it? Like, I mean,
It's a dream
because
come true
that's
for me.
huge.
it's a dream come true as far as you have shows in Vegas, you have shows in Atlantic City, and by DC being the nation's capital and a tourist attraction city, I always wanted and dreamed to have a show 7 nights a week like Vegas. And so the Howard Theater, a friend of mine who worked there, he's no longer there now, but he gave me the opportunity to do a show, and it was successful. We sold out our first show with 610 people. Then after that, we just kept growing and growing and growing, and so they're no longer there. The people who I worked with before and New York office who runs Howard Theater now, they enjoyed everything I've done, and so they continue my shows of being there. So this is my
Nice.
third show going into late Memorial Day weekend.
And you have a pretty good relationship with both the Mill and Park.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about?
The Mill. Like I said, I've been promoting for a long time. I've done basically every venue in this town, for the exception of maybe town. Probably. And
We infringing on territory.
I haven't done town yet. But hopefully that will be something that will happen in its season or whatever. But I never did an event or a party at the Mill. So it was kind of me reaching out to them
Right.
just to even entertain the thought to say, hey, what about maybe hosting something here? And Mike was open to the idea, but I think he was a little leery about it because Mike has never, ever really given or let a promoter come into his club and take the club that night. So that was kind of, I think it was walking on eggshells for both of us.
Right.
So when he said okay, I was like, okay, we'll make it work. So the very first night, it was a huge success. The Mill was packed on a Friday night, and that was something that the Mill doesn't really get those kind of numbers on a Friday. So after that party was over, we just kind of said, well, what do you think? Maybe we can continue this. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about it? And I said, but I'll give it. I'll just jump in there and see what happens.
Yeah.
And fourthly, 3.5 years later, I'm still there on
Here
Friday
you are.
nights, first Fridays, and I'm very proud of that particular project because I didn't really expect it to take off the way it did, and it's really a huge success.
And look at you now. So I want to talk about what's going on Memorial Day weekend. So Quita, tell us what we should be looking forward to this year.
As far as me with my production, excuse me, we'll be at the Howard Theater on May 24th, 7 o'clock p.m. Doors open at 6. Tickets are $20, $25 at the door. I'm doing a drag salute to hip-hop artists, ladies of hip-hop,
What?
R&B girl groups, and duets of all time. So
Is there going to be a little salt and pepper in there?
Yes, it will be
Ah!
Salt and Pepper, SWV.
Push it. Come on now.
TLC. At Salt and Pepper will be played by Strong Kelly and Sabrina Blue
Okay.
and Capri Bloomingdale.
Nice.
Will be Spinderella.
Nice.
You have TLC by RuPaul's Drag Race Season 2, Tatiana,
Oh.
Jessica Spaulding, Devereaux,
Okay.
and Electra. Then you have a duet, not a girl group of Patti LaBelle, which is played by Alley Cat Blue.
Okay.
Tarina McCrae will be Dionne Warwick, and Avion Davenport will be Gladys Knight in
Okay.
the salute they did on Oprah Winfrey Show.
Ah, nice.
And then you have myself and Riley Knox doing Tina Turner and Beyonce's.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
then you have a couple of more surprises. I don't want to throw them out there yet.
Okay.
And right now we're trying to find hip hop artists to come in as well. So I don't know yet.
So that'll be at the Howard Theater.
That'll
as
be
well.
at the Howard Theater.
Very
And then we
nice.
also have our drag brunch at Nelly Sports Bar
Okay.
at 10:30 and 12:30. You can go on eventbrite.com and get tickets. It's a ticketed brunch now.
Okay. And then, so what do you have going on that
After
weekend?
hearing all that, I don't even know what I can say. I mean, goodness
No, you
gracious.
got some pretty big
That's
things
a
going
lot.
on too.
But no,
I've
but
just
mine
seen
only
that.
one day. Yours,
I mean, I really.
Yours, I feel like extends all throughout the
No,
weekend.
but I really got to give kudos to Shi-Queeta because that's a lot. I mean, I really commend you for that. I mean, I watched Shi-Queeta's growth over the years. I mean, literally watched Shi-Queeta start from Shi-Queeta to this
You can say
thing.
Jared.
This, don't try it. No.
to this
No, but I
this
mean, but, you know,
business
I am-
entity now.
I'm that guy that give credit what credit is due.
Right.
And I have to give Shi-Queeta all respect and give her credit because she has done a phenomenal job in DC with me was just drag
Clap
alone.
for it.
So I mean, she deserved all the things that God has laid before her. She deserves it because she worked hard for it. And I want you to know that. I think I'm really proud of you. Far as myself, I have a lot going on this year. I mean, myself and my partner, McGregory from Omega Entertainment,
Right.
you know, we partnered up last year with our first year. It was very, very challenging. It was very, very scary to actually partner
Why?
with
Why
someone.
was that challenging?
Because being, you know, I've always been a loner for
Right.
one. I've always done things alone. You know, I've never really, I was never that person to really spend a lot of time with just a lot of people. So I'm always kind of been very standoffish, kind of sort of. So to partner with someone when I've always done things my own way, you know, you hear your own voice,
Right.
you have your own ideas, your own concepts. So when you come and you bring two different empires together,
Right.
it can become challenging. But you know, and even when we first met, our very first meeting, I went in there like before I got out of my car, 'cause we meet at a certain place when we start preparing for Pride. We just get away from everybody, everything. We don't tell anybody where we are. We just go to this little place that we sit down at a bar and we just talk about ideas and we just bounce off one another. So it was very challenging going into that very first meeting because I actually had to pray before I went up. I said, I don't even know how this is going to go.
Oh,
What am
Lord,
I gonna
fix it,
say?
Jesus.
Is it going to be egos? And I said, you know, before I even went in, I said, let me just, if I have an ego, get rid of it at the
Right,
door.
right,
Leave it at
right.
the door. Just go in with an open mind. And to my surprise, I mean, our very first meeting was a very great meeting. We came out of there with, you know, maybe this could work. And even when we
Okay.
started planning last year, prior for 2014, I mean, I was still leery about a lot of things
Right.
going in because, again, I've always done things on my own.
Yeah.
So, but you know, the outcome last year, it was just a huge success. So it was just a no-brainer for us to come together
Okay.
this year. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people may have had some doubts or some concerns, or this is not going to work, and
Right.
they're going to get into it, or it's going to be some drama. But you know, I think at the end of the day, when you look at the big project, I mean, the program that we put together last year, and how it all came together, I think we did a phenomenal job bringing DC back together. And this year, you know, I think Mac sometime laughed at me because right after Pride is over, people just think that I just go off into another world. I literally, the day after, that Tuesday, I'm literally on the phones. I'm making reservations. I'm calling about venue rentals. I mean, I'm really just getting it done because you really got to move fast when you're planning a program this big. And you know, I'm sure you may have heard about our new project we've added, the convention center. This is the first time that two black gay promoters have come together and done something like this. So it's a very huge undertaking. It's probably one of the biggest events that I've done to date. I've done some other great events over the years. I put together some hell of events over my course of years as a promoter, but this convention center event that we're doing, it's so many bells and whistles that go along with it. from the venue rental, from the sound, to the lighting, to the production, to the stage managers, to, you know, security, to EMT people, to show directors. I mean, it's a lot that goes with this. So I'm really spending a lot of my time really paying a close attention to every little detail for this event, because people are watching and people are looking. Unfortunately, they want to see you fail. They don't want to see it work. People want to be able to ridicule something. So I'm paying attention to every little detail. And I think at the end of the day, when people see what we have put together, I think that it's going to be a mind-blowing experience for everyone in DC.
I want to do everything this year. Like, I want to be at everybody's, you know, party. Everybody, definitely, I need to see Tina Turner and and Beyonce. I have been dying to see that, and I can't wait to go to the convention center. So that's going to be amazing. I want to thank you guys both for coming out tonight, for both being on the show. It really means a lot to me because you both inspire me a lot. Performer, promoter, and thank you for watching another great episode. We'll see you soon. Bye.
And this is another episode of.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
5, 4, 3.
Thanks for another great episode, and thank you for watching.
Okay, now look into the camera with the red light on.
You know what? You didn't tell me.
I said it the first time. If it has the red light on, that's when
I can't stand Tony sometimes. I love him, but I can't stand it. Okay, I'm ready.
5, 4, 3.
This has been another great episode. Thanks, guys, for watching.
Okay, can you put a little more feeling in that?
Ooh. Yes, I got you.
Take 15.
Okay, I need to take 20.
How many frames you get?
I'm ready.
5, 4, 3.
On this track, DJ run it back. Bass stack like that. If you thirsty, call it trap. We jamming in these streets, and we got the block deep. We run this town, baby, with the Gucci on our feet. Turn it up a little bit louder. I wanna feel the bass when the beat drop. I'm feeling kinda nice now. Gon' get it started, let's start the party.